It was the late 70s, the early 80s. The Love Boat was the most popular show on television. And the coolest guy on the cruise was, without a doubt, Isaac the bartender. Isaac the bartender, played by Ted Lange. Lange? How does he say it? Lange? Okay. We thought Lang, but Pedro was right. He was correcting us. And by the way, in addition to making a mean Mai Tai, Ted was also the writer and director of many Love Boat episodes. And quite a playboy, had a fun life. And it was the 70s. Who knew you couldn't do that all the time? He also wrote several other plays and directed for both stage and screen. Ted is on this Oprah Where Are They Now show this Sunday night at 9 o'clock on OWN, the Oprah Winfrey Network. Ted Lange, welcome to the Bob Rivers Show. How are you, sir?
Well, thank you very much.
You good?
Good to be aboard, and yes, you said it right, Ted Lange.
Yeah.
Lovely.
All right. Well, I should have known. Pedro, actually, I'm surrounded by huge Love Boat fans, and it's been a while, but it doesn't matter. Generations of people love that show.
Yeah, it keeps finding a new audience, and Pedro is the man, huh?
Yeah, Pedro's the man who he knows everything about. Well, he envisions himself somewhat of a, Latin lover playboy, and to him, you are kind of a hero because of your way with women.
Well, I'm glad it's just kind of a hero, a bona fide hero.
Yeah. So, Ted, first off, this show is on Sunday night at 9 o'clock, and great stories about you and the great days, but also even today, where you are very, very busy. You've won many awards and just having a wonderful life, right?
Well, I'm having fun. I'm getting to do what I want to do in my life. When I was a young kid, you make a decision on where you want to go, and if you persevere, you're going to have, hopefully, some kind of success. And I was very fortunate in that even though I was told no as a young kid, I just persevered, and it turned out even much better than I thought.
So how did you get the job as the bartender on the Love Boat? Coolest job ever.
Well, I did a series before that for ABC TV called Mr. T and Tina with Pat Morita, and it was before Pat Morita did Karate Kid.
Okay.
And it was a show that was not as funny as it could be. However, when I came on screen, I was very successful with my jokes. The network took note of that, and when Love Boat came along, they just put me on it. There was no audition.
Wow.
I went in, I met the executive producer. They said, "Do you get seasick?" I said, "No." And I had the job. It was simple as that.
Now, that's one of the things about the Love Boat, by the way. It wouldn't be done this way today. Back then, real cruise ship. Back then, real sailing. You even had real passengers in the show, and you were in places like Hong Kong for long periods of time. In order to be on the show, you really had to sort of live on a cruise ship. At least a part of the time.
Yeah, well, this was, they were specials. They would do 3 specials a year, and we would go to whatever country we were talking about. If talking about Spain, we would be there. If we're talking about London or Greece or Australia, we would go to those places. So that was really a benefit to the show. The rest of the time, the little hour episodes were done in the studio at 20th Century Fox. But at that time, we were the only show leaving the country, going abroad and shooting. And later on, other shows picked up on that because I think of the success of our show.
Right. Now, you got to meet and date so many wonderful, beautiful, famous people, and obviously, even as you described how you got the job as the bartender, you're kind of a scene stealer in a sense. You also had this famous signature move with your hands. I don't know if there's a name for it. I call it like double pistols. Is that a good name for it?
Yeah, people say double pistol, double guns.
Right.
Yeah.
where you cock your hands as in the two guns and you go, it's sort of a here's looking at you. I don't know if it usually.
Yeah, that's right. I got you.
Yeah, and it's a little bit Sammy Davis. Was he an influence, or where did you get? I mean, did you invent this?
It happened by accident. It wasn't premeditated. What they call in show business is a happy accident. It just popped out of nowhere. And maybe it was Sammy Davis subconsciously.
But he was a single pistol. You were packing twice as much.
Yeah, well, that's why I bought my second gun.
Yeah, to the gun show.
But yeah, you don't know. There are times when you're working and things are accidents, and they keep rolling, and they turn out to be something that is usable. And that's something that people like sometimes,
yeah.
You know.
Do you remember seeing that on an episode and going, "Oh yeah, I got to use that a lot," or did the producers or somebody else say that to you, and you were like, "Yeah, that's."
No, what happened was it was the opening credits, so it was on every week, and that's what the repetition of seeing it is what made it catch on.
Got it. Because it was in the opening credits, you said, "All right, let's do it more even."
Well, no, they shot it once. And then they used the same thing every week. So what happened is that was my opening credit. Someone else turned and looked into the camera and smiled. I did the double gun, and that's what they used every week.
Now, did women ask you? Did women ask you to do that for them when you were like dating somebody? They would say, "Give me the double guns" or anything like that.
No, they said, "Give me another drink, big boy." See where this party goes.
Who is? Can you now? Enough time has gone by. Can you talk about any famous people that you dated and how wonderful they were?
Well, no, they asked me not to because they were married at the time, and you don't want to.
Oh. All right. So the statute of limitations hasn't expired on those. They're married, but they were Hollywood marriages.
You
must be over.
As a gentleman, you never tell, and sometimes the reputation you would say, "I can't believe the guy did that." But you know what I did have fun with is one time we were on a cruise, and see the thing is when you're a celebrity, you can say certain things and people believe you. You know. So we were in China and. A photographer was there, and he said, "Boy, that Ursula Andress is really a beautiful woman." I said, "Yeah, and when she kisses, her tongue really is very active."
Yes. It tastes like butterscotch.
Right.
And, yeah, it tastes like butterscotch. And so the guy didn't know if I was lying, if I was telling the truth. And so the next time he sees me with Ursula, and she's being very nice and sincere, he's going, "I wonder if it's true."
Right,
that's the great thing about being a celebrity. They never know.
And you have that wink in your eye, and we're not even sure if it's true, but I'm absolutely positive it must be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Fun. Doctor, no. How could you say no to that?
So many great stories. Ted Lange, The Love Boat. Oprah, where are they now? Sunday at 9 o'clock on OWN. Ted, all the best to you, and everybody tune in if you want to hear more.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care.